The proposals go against so many of the council's local plan policies, as well as the London plan policy and the NPPF. It'd make a total mockery of the council's policies if you vote for this application.
I'm concerned about the non-compliance with council policy as well. I'd like to read the very shocking paragraph 4.11 to you. It reads, the council and the GLA would assess the application as non-compliant with the location and plan-led requirements of Part B of London Plan Policy D9.
Proposal, our residents think it's important to send a loud and clear message to developers. Schemes like this that ignore the local character and put profit ahead of improvements to the local area and people's well-being just aren't welcome here in Battersea.
The local plan states that buildings in this tall building zone are to be 7 to 10 stories high. And this is not 7 stories high, but it's more than 4 times that. It's 19 stories higher.
The truth is, a massive 29-storey tower here would cause real harm, not just locally, but also to the historic views from Battersea Park, the Thames Embankment and Battersea Square Conservation Area.
You know, it's not Canary Wharf here, it's not Nine Elms, but it's historic Wandsworth Town with its heritage, its Grade 2 listed buildings, its conservation areas.
I think the problem with this is that it's not just too big, it's not just too tall, it's so enormous, it's almost a joke, this. I can hardly believe it's a serious application.
Well, quite seriously, the only thing that makes me shuts my eyes to the 29-storey block and all these other problems I've mentioned are the public housing provision.
In the background, we have done a little bit of our own kind of high-level viability assessment, which kind of uses fairly standard assumptions, and that is showing that there is a bit of surplus in the scheme.
I didn't read about the significant financial deficit in the paper. Could we spread some light on that?
That was a comment from Wandsworth Society. Anyone know anything about that?
Yes. So obviously with the applicants, with their initial offer, when they first submitted the application, which was based on 20% affordable housing and then 20% with grant, so they then did need to provide viability information with that. But then when they upped their offer, that it would be 40% on the basis of, regardless of grant, they then didn't need to provide further viability information with that. So essentially that means that there isn't a formally agreed viability position, but that's essentially the route that they're allowed to take when they go through the fast track route.
So Councillor Ayres has got every reason to be very worried about this.
Yes, anyway. And again, it's that message that it sends out to developers. I know every site is on its own merits, but here we've given a lot more weight in the report to our local plan and the significance of that. And it's a different context, admittedly, but I think we have to be consistent in our approach, and that message should go out just as strongly to the developers as it does to residents, that we have local plans, a relatively new local plan, 2023, and it's there for a reason. We should uphold the standards that we've set out in that what we think are appropriate for the borough. Otherwise, it isn't altogether surprising when developers come up with a proposal like this, which is so extraordinary, out of context, because they think our local plan doesn't evidently mean much. It's a very well thought through and cohesive local plan, and here it just seems like, oh, well, that doesn't matter, because the overriding thing is we're going to get some affordable housing, and everything else, as Councillor Ayres said, doesn't really matter as long as we get the affordable housing. So hang the height, 29 stories as opposed to 10 stories. The lowest element of this development is 12 stories, the lowest element, let alone when the SPD talks about 4 to 10 stories. I just think it's a joke, really, and I can completely understand how the public lose faith in the council when we come forward with policy, big, strong, important policies, we're not talking about little details here, and then completely override it when we think it suits us to do something appropriate, or the developer thinks we can get away with it.
Given that the local and London plan states that we shouldn't be having high buildings in this area, this would represent a Trojan horse, really, for the area. Such that this could be referenced then by other developers to build at a height that they would require.
That
but it is ironic.
Contrast this application and this report
with the gaswork holders site, which we discussed last month. And it is unfortunate that that 29-story building, this 29-story building, got an entirely different treatment, whilst both of them failed to meet the planning policy requirements